What's a good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. So woke up, got the notifications this morning, didn't really have time to get my thoughts until now, but we have trade rumors surrounding wide receiver Mecole Hardman. We just picked him up this offseason from the Kansas City Chiefs, and it looked like a great addition, right? He's on a one-year contract, I believe $4.5 million. I think he has another $1 million in incentives he can achieve. And this looked like a missing element from this New York Jets team that would have really helped us out, right? We weren't really able to attack the deep parts of the field last year. Even with Garrett Wilson's all-around excellent skill set, he had his own troubles when it came to the deep passing game as well. And a lot of that is centered around Zach Wilson and how the previous coaching staff wanted to adapt around the talent, of course. But on paper, this looked great. Aaron Rodgers, generally, a master of offense in general, but we've seen a decrease from him in the deep passing attack as well. So this just seemed like it could have fully completed the offense. Having Mecole Hardman as a speed threat that would force the defenses to have to get some additional support back there with some safeties. And then, of course, Garrett Wilson in a connection with Tyler Conklin and all these kind of things. So it's interesting a couple months into his tenure with the Jets that we are already having these kind of rumors. And from what I understand, Jeremy Fowler reported this. It isn't that teams are calling us about Mecole Hardman per se. This seems like a proactive decision by this coaching staff in front office that, Mecole Hardman isn't going to see enough success in a Jets uniform to make it worthwhile. Now, I'm trying to remember who this applied to before, but I love, it was one of the edge rushers we tried to bring in. I forgot the name, but I don't have a problem with bringing in a free agent and being able to flip him for draft picks. To me, that's a plus as long as you didn't, overpay, a ridiculous amount of money. In this case, though, this is a tough situation for me because it feels like the coaching staff is giving up maybe a little bit too early. I would imagine that the thought process probably is we're not going to generate enough passing plays to make Mecole Hardman a priority in his offense. You have Garrett Wilson ahead of him, who's going to see the majority of targets. You have Allen Lazard, who's been our best big play threat from an intermediate field perspective. Even in the deep passing attack. And then you have Randall Cobb, who's going to be one of the more trusted slot wide receivers in the league. And when it comes to that missing speed element, you can say we can, try to groom Xavier Gipson for that role to get him implemented into this offense a little bit sooner. Why you wouldn't give those opportunities to Mecole Hardman, already a proven veteran, and we've seen what he can do, and relegate Xavier Gipson, maybe more strictly to just the return game and then try to feed him in as you can. I'm not sure. I don't think it's for a lack of creativity from Nathaniel Hackett. I do think as we are finding out how we want to adapt this playbook to Zach Wilson, and it is, even with these last 2 weeks, a continuous effort. This is one of those situations where I think we'll regret it. We'll see Mecole Hardman go off to wherever he ends up going off to if we move forward with this, and we'll see him go on to have success like we've seen with plenty of people. I won't say plenty, but as we've seen with some people in the past that we've wanted to retain. So it is an interesting scenario to be in. I mean, I can't say it's ultimately going to be a huge loss for this Jets team again. He has an underwhelming skill set, but that was exactly the reason that we brought him in as well. If you guys remember some of the storyline surrounding when we signed him, there was rumors swirling that the coaching staff essentially promised to kind of unlock him and allow him to do a little bit more things from a route running perspective, right? He doesn't just want to be a gadget guy or a deep target getting sent out on decoy routes and all that kind of stuff consistently. He wants to show that he can actually go out there, turn some hips, twist some ankles, and get it done as an all-around capable receiver. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. But, for what the Jets have done so far, I'm pretty sure he's had less than 30 snaps, maybe on the high end, I'm guessing, for the season so far. He hasn't really been involved in the return or in the return game, kicking or punting as much as we expected with the success of Xavier Gipson. And then you talk about the production. He's only had 1 catch for 6 yards, I believe. So again, he's been involved in the last 2 games a little bit more, but you're still talking about healthy scratches, minimal usage, and a lot of that is factored into what's happened from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson. And for what it's worth, it is a little bit odd that you're not seeing better chemistry, or at least a better understanding of how to use him, because Zach Wilson primarily played with Mecole Hardman. You know, with Aaron Rodgers leading the helm during the offseason, it was basically Garrett, Tyler Conklin, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb as his primary weapons. Zach Wilson was working with guys like Mecole Hardman, you know, Irvin Charles, Jason Brownlee, Jeremy Rucker, CJ. So you would imagine they'd have a better idea of kind of how Zach Wilson and Mecole Hardman fit together. But I don't know. It's an interesting situation all around. I think I've seen somebody put it best, where basically the New York Jets literally went 100% in on Aaron Rodgers. Everything is built for him, by him, you know, with a complete focus on him. And, you know, we didn't game plan very heavily for what would happen in the event that we don't have him for any period, right? It didn't even have to be a season-long injury. Let's just say he gets a calf injury scare or something, takes him out for a couple weeks. How do we want to adjust? So it sucks that we lose out on a free agent so quickly. Again, this is all speculation if it does occur. But yeah, I don't know. Odd times to be a Jets fan. Even when we're winning, there's drama that creeps up. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'll catch you again. Peace.